We do thank everybody for joining us today. We know your time is valuable. We are happy that you've joined us, and we're really excited to share some COSTARS information that we thought might be helpful for you in your day-to-day jobs. I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Felicia Campbell, and we also have with us Kim Bullivant. We are both marketing managers with the COSTARS program. I'll share what our goals are for today's presentation. We hope that by the end, you'll have fully understood the COSTARS program and its benefits to you as the members. You will hear today about a COSTARS member dilemma. Is somebody asking a question? Nope, okay. You'll hear about a COSTARS member dilemma and find out how the COSTARS program contributed to the solution. And also you'll learn some tips, tricks, and best practices of using the COSTARS program. If you have any questions during today's presentation, feel free to post to the chat. And if you're not very comfortable with Teams, at the very top of your screen, you'll see some icons. There's 2 people, then you'll see a speech bubble. That's the chat area. If you click on that, that will open up the chat, and feel free to post in there any questions that you have. And we are going to use that chat area a little later. So please have that open and ready to use. All right, I'm going to go off camera for a little bit here, and we'll start. I want to meet Carla. Carla is an office manager whose engineer just told her that their aging HVAC system has heated and cooled for the last time. It's imperative that they address this immediately, and there's no way to fix the problem. What does she do? Wait. She has an idea. She remembers that her organization is a COSTARS member. She remembers that COSTARS provides the quickest, easiest, and most efficient way to find a good HVAC supplier. With a limited budget, she realizes by purchasing through a COSTARS authorized contract, she can save time and money. Before I continue, if you can, everybody please make sure that your mic is muted so we don't have any background noise. That would be really helpful. Thank you. All right, before we get back to COSTARS or Carla's dilemma, I want to start by giving some background on how COSTARS was created. In 1998, legislature passed the Commonwealth Procurement Code, Act 57, which allowed local government to piggyback on state contracts for procurement. This, to give you some context of timing, this was the same year that Google was created. In 2002, legislature expanded the scope of participants within Act 57 to allow school districts, nonprofit fire, rescue, or ambulance services, and nonprofit education and health services so they all could benefit from state contracts. What else happened this year? This was the same year that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security began. Whoops. Oh, I just blew it. During the time frame of 2002, many agencies across the Commonwealth were handling their own procurement. For example, each agency was purchasing different computer brands for their offices from different suppliers. So to make the process more efficient and to save time or taxpayer money, the administration opted for a single source procurement of these computers. In 2004, the single source decision for the government's computer contract made it difficult for local public procurement offices because it took away their variety of options. And it also reduced opportunities for suppliers, large and small, to compete for this business. So an amendment was passed, Act 77, allowing VGS to create contracts exclusively for these LPPUs, and this is how the COSTARS program came about. Under COSTARS, we could then offer COSTARS exclusive multi-vendor contracts to LPPUs, allowing for more variety and competitive bidding. And since I pre-clicked, this is the same year that the final episode of Friends aired on NBC. So how does the program save COSTARS members like Carla time and money? Many COSTARS members are creatures of the state, so they must follow state's laws and regulations, one of them being the PA procurement law. The law states for any contract up to $11,500, members can purchase whatever they need from whomever they like. They don't need to get bids, they don't need to get quotes, they can just make their purchase. For transactions between $11,500 and $21,300, they must obtain 3 quotes and the purchase must be awarded to the lowest bidder. And then for transactions over $21,300, these members held to these requirements must follow the formal bidding process, including advertising and gaining formal. COSTARS contract of Chapter 19 of the Procurement Code, our members can significantly reduce the time and costs normally associated with the formal competitive bidding process by purchasing. One second. Okay. It's also important to note that the COSTARS members are not held to awarding the project to the lowest bidder when purchasing through COSTARS authorized contracts. They can shop based on the criteria that's important to them, and that might be preferred brands, it might be the location or even past performance of a supplier, and it also may include negotiated value adds to the purchase, things like ancillary services or package updates. Sorry, as I'm speaking, I'm noticing some people were unmuted, so I wanted to mute them while I was seeing their pictures light up. It is estimated that for transactions over the $21,300 threshold, a member invests approximately $3,600 in the public bidding process. And that $3,600 is comprised of advertising costs, administrative costs, and attorney's fees. Well, Carla would rather apply that $3,600 to the hard costs of her project. In addition to saving money, her decision-making time is lessened because she can get right to negotiating and finalizing the purchase with a supplier that suits her needs and budget. We wanted to see what that savings could look like for one of our members over the span of a year. So we randomly selected an active member and found that they had 121 transactions over the bidding threshold of $21,300 in fiscal year 2019. From purchasing through COSTARS, they saved more than $435,000 that year because the time and expense normally associated with the public bidding process were significantly reduced. This was one of the main factors that in a member's decision to use the COSTARS contracts when making their purchases. We'd like to take a quick poll right now on how you purchase goods and supplies in your personal life. Kim is going to add to our chat area a yes and a no answer. Once I describe the question, place a thumbs up emoji in the answer that best fits your process by hovering over the answer and clicking on the thumbs up emoji. I want to see how you do this. So I'm going to describe an experience of purchasing a typical personal large ticket item like an automobile. Here's your question. When you went to purchase your last automobile, did you ask 3 or 4 auto dealers to quote their price, placed in a secure envelope so you could then wait until next Tuesday at 1 p.m. to open each envelope at your dining room table, with witnesses, of course, and select the lowest bidder? Go ahead and put a thumbs up in your answer. Do you do that process or do you not do that process? I'll give you a few moments to answer. Oh, I see some answers coming in. I'll just give it a few more moments here. All right, so it is looking like most of you are saying no, this is not your process. So my guess is you probably more likely speak to several dealers about pricing and other factors in the purchase, and then make your final decision to purchase based not only on price, but those other aspects that were important to you. That's how I guess you probably do your purchasing. So the scenario that we just described in our poll question is the public bidding process. This process is not how we shop in our everyday lives, and it's not how you shop with the COSTARS program. Why is COSTARS beneficial to our members? Well, because the suppliers already go through the competitive bidding process with DGS, COSTARS reduces public bidding costs for our members held to those requirements, as you just heard a moment ago. Not having to go through the public bidding process reduces a member's time investment during each transaction, so you can get right to negotiating and finalizing the purchase. COSTARS provides our members with more flexibility and choice in their procurement process. Members may purchase from COSTARS exclusive suppliers or piggyback on statewide COSTARS participating contracts. They are also able to base their decision on more criteria than just price. COSTARS allows for product customization. Unlike statewide contracts that specify on the contract the specs of the item being purchased, COSTARS contracts allow for customization of the products. Using vehicles, for example, members and suppliers can negotiate additional add-ons to the vehicle so that vehicle better fits the needs of the member and makes that supplier's offer more competitive. Because COSTARS members receive public funding for procurement of supplies and services, the combination of competitive pricing and negotiation saves taxpayer funds. And finally, the added benefit for our Commonwealth is that the COSTARS program enhances local economic development by providing small, diverse, and small veteran-owned and local companies the opportunity to compete for this business. So eligibility for membership requires that an organization falls within the scope of a local public procurement unit by being a tax-exempt, nonprofit organization who receives public funding for the procurement of supplies and services. Our member entities come from places like local municipalities, school districts, public authorities like parking, airport, sewer, and water, tax-exempt nonprofit education or public health institutions, tax-exempt nonprofit fire, rescue, and ambulance companies, and other tax-exempt nonprofit entities who receive public funding for the procurement of supplies and services. Because these entities receive public funding for procurement, we as the Commonwealth citizens see the benefits of those savings in our communities. The less these entities need to spend to acquire the goods and services needed, the more our tax money stretches and the more our communities can provide for us. I want to talk to you a little bit about some COSTARS data. Our membership continues to grow year over year. In 2005, we had a little more than 3,000 members. Currently, we have more than 9,000 members. And we continue to see about one new member each business day. Our suppliers continue to grow as well. In 2007, we had 483 suppliers, where today we have more than 2,000 suppliers. And these numbers reflect suppliers on both COSTARS exclusive and COSTARS participating statewide contracts. Our sales growth is always on the uptick as well. From the inception of the program through fiscal year 2019, our COSTARS sales have grown from $150 million to over $1 billion in sales. So it is obvious that our members are taking advantage of their member benefits and the COSTARS competitive pricing. Oops, missed a couple of clicks here. Just to reinforce our numbers there. So before we discuss COSTARS exclusive and statewide contracts in more detail, let's talk about how, why, and when these contracts are created and how a supplier is awarded a COSTARS exclusive contract. If a statewide contract supplier base is reduced by more than 50%, we are mandated to create a parallel COSTARS contract. Because of this, in some cases, there are similar COSTARS exclusive and statewide contracts. Examples of these similarities are the COSTARS exclusive and statewide office supplies contracts, pest control contracts, and IT hardware contracts. We also look at the perceived need of our members. If we see the large portion of our membership needs a product or service, we may create a new contract. Many times our members will let us know if they need a product or service. Also, we often survey our members to get a feel for their current needs. For example, with recent Commonwealth green and stormwater management initiatives, our members told us that they need a stormwater management type contract. In 2019, we created the Stormwater Management Products and Services contract. COSTARS awards contracts to all suppliers who submit properly completed bid paperwork with items competitively priced and within the scope of the contract. When a commodity specialist managing a contract requests updates to the submitted paperwork, the supplier must be timely in the reply to be considered responsive. We also ensure that bidding suppliers are in good standing with the Commonwealth to ensure that they are responsible. As we talked about earlier, COSTARS members are permitted to purchase under both the eligible statewide and COSTARS exclusive contracts. But what are the differences between the two types of contracts? So we'll look at the COSTARS exclusive contracts first. There are 36 COSTARS exclusive multi-vendor contracts available for use by COSTARS members only. The agencies cannot use these COSTARS exclusive contracts. COSTARS contracts have many choices of suppliers with a lot of variety. And as I said just a moment ago, we award COSTARS exclusive contracts to all responsive and responsible bidders. COSTARS offers competitive pricing, and a supplier's pricing offered on a COSTARS contract is the ceiling price. They can offer lower pricing through negotiations and quoting, but they cannot offer pricing higher than stated on the contract. And lastly, COSTARS exclusive contracts are customizable as long as the products and services are within the scope of the contract. Now we'll go over to the statewide contracts and look at those. Statewide contracts are established based on the procurement needs of state agencies, which may or may not coincide with the needs of COSTARS members. So in many cases, there's a much more focused supplier selection on statewide contracts. However, there are over 100 statewide contracts that are available for COSTARS members to purchase from. Statewide contracts are competitively priced through the formal bidding process, and statewide contracts are not open to customization. The specs of the products and the services are listed on the contract on how they are to be purchased. I do want to reiterate one more time because we receive a lot of questions on this. COSTARS members can purchase from COSTARS exclusive and participating statewide contracts, but state agencies can purchase only from the statewide contracts, not the COSTARS contracts. And suppliers who are awarded state agency contracts can only sell to COSTARS members if they elect to participate in the COSTARS program. Just because they're on a statewide contract that is available to COSTARS members doesn't mean that they can sell to COSTARS members if they didn't opt into the program. So now we're going to look specifically at COSTARS contracts. As I said a little earlier, there are 36 COSTARS exclusive contracts, and those cover nearly everything our members might need. Pictured here is a helpful resource called the Guide to COSTARS Contracts. This guide includes a listing of all COSTARS exclusive and statewide COSTARS participating contracts, and it will help you to find which contracts the products and services you're searching for fall under. So we do recommend that you use this guide. I'll just briefly name a couple of our COSTARS exclusive contracts to give you an idea of the range of products and services we offer. We have janitorial supplies, foods, graphic and printing services, equipment and supplies, recreational and fitness equipment, water and wastewater treatment consumables, and then a separate water and wastewater components and equipment contract. We offer pest control, groundskeeping services, and as I said earlier, stormwater management products and services. But that's just a little look at some of those contracts available to you. I do want to highlight a couple of our contracts just so you can see the plethora of products and services that fall within our contracts. So COSTARS 8 is our maintenance, repair, and operation equipment and supplies contract. Within this contract, you would find basically anything that can be purchased from one of those large home improvement stores. Here you can find things like flooring, hand and power tools, LED lighting, paint, pumps, and plumbing. And then we'll look at COSTARS 40, our security and surveillance systems and fire alarm systems, equipment, products, and services. In this contract, we offer things like emergency mass notification systems, access control systems, fire alarm systems, and fire systems and design services. Also now included as of, I think it was 2019, we now offer security and safety training and education services. Now we'll look at the statewide contracts. There are more than 100 statewide contracts available to COSTARS members, ranging from things like security guard services to a very new contract the electronic vehicle supply equipment contract. There are more examples of statewide contracts, and I'll go over a couple of these with you. We have the credit card services through U.S. Bank for procurement. We also have the universal fleet card through WEX, which helps you track the spend on your fleet fuel expenses, as well as take advantage of discount incentives offered through WEX. We have small package delivery through UPS. And then maintenance, equipment maintenance, we have fuel and tires, and then we also have a number of service type contracts, including accounting, advertising, consulting, professional training, and temporary clerical. One of the most asked questions that we get from our members is how to find a particular product or service contract. So we thought it would be appropriate to provide a contract search demo as a refresher. So everything you want to do in COSTARS, you will always start with www.dgs.pa.gov/COSTARS. The COSTARS, as I said, the COSTARS page is your starting point for anything involving member information. Once you click on the member information on the right-hand side of the page with the yellow arrow, you can do a number of things within the system. You can update your member profile, you can submit a new member or a new user registration, you can register for road salt, you can access the training center, you can read news flashes and newsletters to get helpful information that's timely, you can access the guide to COSTARS contracts, you can access the members quote kit, and you can search COSTARS exclusive and statewide contracts. So we're going to actually do that right now. We're going to start our search. So you would do this by hitting the member information tile on the right. That will take you into the COSTARS portal, member portal. I want to point out a couple of things on this page. In the middle of the page, you'll see some important information about contracts, your member profile, and contact information for DGS's Bureau of Procurement. To the right, this is where you'll find our newsflash area. This gives you both up-to-the-moment updates that you should see, as well as other important past information that you might want to refer to ongoing. Since we want to run through a search demo, we're going to look at the left navigation menu under Search Contracts. Before we do that, though, look right above, I think it's the second link in that left navigation panel, that's the Training Center. So if you have any questions about how to do something, visit that training center and that will help. So today you can search, starting your search either with COSTARS contracts or statewide contracts, but for today's demo, we're going to search COSTARS contracts first. So we will pick contracts. And in our search demo today, we're going to use COSTARS 8 MRO because that closely fits with Carla's dilemma. So we will select COSTARS 8. Now in our search, we actually can search by a number of different things if we know the category that we want, or even a vendor or manufacturer, or even a dealer, or maybe you want to just search by the county that supplier will service. You have many choices of searching. We're actually going to search the category under MRO 8 called HVAC filters in this. Once you've picked all the criteria you want to search by, you're just going to click on the search button and it will bring up the list of suppliers that fall within your search criteria. From this list of suppliers, you can dial into several different details. One of them with the arrow above it is the contract overview. This overview will be exactly the same through all of the vendors in this list. The next one over is the vendor contract. That will be different, and that is individual to each line. Each individual supplier has their own vendor contract. Then you'll see contract terms, change notice, contract renewal, and important to you would be the column on the right-hand side. This will give you the name and the phone number of the commodity specialist who manages the contract that we have searched for. So we're going to first take a look at the contract overview. So the first page of the overview gives you kind of a summary of the contract itself. In the large description box, you can see that it defines what the MRO contract includes. Also, In the smaller description box, you can see that COSTARS members are allowed to purchase jointly to capitalize on quantity discounts if the supplier offers that option. So if you have a partnership with another COSTARS member, talk about what it is you guys are needing, because they might have the same need and you might be able to partner and get a really good deal by purchasing together. You'll also see the contact information for the COSTARS commodity specialist here. And this also includes their email address by going into the overview. And then you'll see the process to purchase area. It'll tell you that you were to order directly from the selected supplier using a purchase order, and you must refer to the COSTARS contract number on the purchase order in order to receive the COSTARS discounted pricing. This is true of all purchases through COSTARS contracts. We do recommend that you print the contract overview and keep it with your records in the event that you're audited. The next page of the overview gives you a listing by supplier, which includes the individual vendor contract number, their product categories and manufacturers, as well as the contract award and expiration dates. What you will not find in this is any pricing or list of product by suppliers. So now we've returned back to our list of suppliers that met our search criteria. And now we'll go into an individual vendor's contract. This is where we're going to find suppliers' pricing and ancillary services. So as you can see on this sample document, the first page of the vendor contract gives you their contact information. So the top part is their general contact information, and they may add additional contact information for where to send purchase orders or maybe even where to send payments. The next page is a general questionnaire that we ask of all of our suppliers. It kind of sets the stage for our members, sets expectations of what it's like doing business with that particular supplier. So we ask them things like if they have any pricing incentives for internet ordering, do they offer prompt payment discounts or penalties for late payment? We also ask them, question number 7, we ask them if they will negotiate with our members. Even if they indicate no in this question, it never hurts to try to negotiate. Remember, in the end, they're trying to win our members' business. So always try to negotiate with a supplier. The next page just defines where within the Commonwealth they plan to serve. They might indicate statewide, as the sample vendor has, or they might indicate specific counties within the Commonwealth. This contract allows not only for the purchase of products, but the purchase of services. This is where the supplier lists the services that they will provide under this contract. So this one is providing building and roof inspection services, as well as drain cleaning, clearing, and inspection. The next page is where they have provided their pricing for the services that they're providing. This one, as you can see, they have indicated that they will quote the price of the service upon receiving the project specs. Next is where they list ancillary services. So these are different than the other services that we just talked about. Ancillary services must be purchased at the same time as the product. They're not available as add-ons after the purchase date. And they must be purchased in conjunction with products purchased from this contract. They're not standalone services like the last ones we just spoke about. For this one, the sample vendor is offering customization, special delivery, training, and post-warranty, as well as assembly, installation, and construction activities. Next, they are defining the product categories that they are offering under this contract. So you'll find that they're offering electrical supplies. I'm not going to name them all. HVAC filters, which, aha, this is what we're looking for. Industrial plumbing, pumps and plumbing supplies. And then next, this is where they're defining their pricing for the product. Suppliers can offer 3 different types of pricing standards. They can offer a percentage discount off of a manufacturer or distributor's most recently published price list. And if they offer that standard, they must include the price list and the date of that price list. If a supplier chooses to offer their cost plus a percentage markup, they must provide their cost to the member if the member requests it. They don't have to put their cost in at the time they submit their bid to DGS. Or lastly, they can choose to attach a custom price list. This particular supplier's product is being offered at a 20% markup over their cost. So again, I want to reiterate that the pricing on this sheet is the ceiling price that they will charge our COSTARS members. They can always choose to offer better pricing through quotes or negotiations, but they cannot go higher than what they've stated on here. And I am now going to hand over the stage to Kim, who will talk to you about statewide contract searching. I'm going to stop sharing here, Kim.
All righty.
Go for it.
I'm working on it. This is always fun. Let's see here. Where's my screen too? There we go. And can you see that?
Can do.
Okay. And I just wanted to, we had a question about downloading the supplier listing in alphabetical order, and I'm not sure if I'm just going to scroll back to the search page and see if it's on there, but I said we can, if not, we can look at that at the end of the presentation, but I just wanted to see if we can just look at that here real quick. I'm not sure if it shows up. Yeah, it's not showing up on the screen. When you do the search, there would be at the bottom here, there would be export to Excel, and that's where you can export the entire list on the contract search page. You wouldn't choose any contract or category, just export to Excel. But we can try to pull that up at the end here, and we'll go back to you have searched your COSTARS exclusive contracts. And now, once you've chosen several suppliers to negotiate with, you'll, on the COSTARS exclusive side, you want to compare your pricing with statewide contracts, or vice versa if you begin your search with statewide contracts first. So you're going to want to go back to the main COSTARS members area page to search contracts in the navigation pane, and this time we'll choose statewide contracts. Here we can search the statewide contracts, but also note there's a quick link back to COSTARS contracts in the green bar, as well as some tips and tricks. If you are stuck with your search, you can get some tips there. And so we will start our statewide contract search by clicking on the search by box. And you'll see there are many options to search by, just like with the COSTARS exclusive contracts. You can search by supplier or supplier number, by contract number if you have a contract number. We normally recommend searching by description or keywords. When using description or keyword, we can specify a search word we want to look for. So here's a tip when typing search words here, less is more. If we're searching, for example, for carpeting, you wouldn't find anything if you type carpeting as a search word, so you would want to use carpet. And sometimes one word will display a variety of different contracts. Recently, we were helping a member locate a contract where he could purchase equipment for tire rotation. He tried searching and couldn't locate the contract. We used search criteria that wasn't providing results either, so we started to think about where an item like this would be used and decided to try a keyword search for garage and still got nothing. So then we tried the same search word but used description as the search option, and bingo, the contract that popped up was titled NASPO Vehicle Lifts and Garage Associated Equipment. That contract offered exactly what he was looking for. And we're telling you this because in some cases you may want to think outside the box when entering search criteria if your initial try or attempt doesn't work. So from our COSTARS exclusive contract search, we know that HVAC filters fall under MRO. So we're going to use MRO as our keyword search. So you type MRO in that box and click search. And here you want to pay attention to, first of all, to the COSTARS column here. You want to make sure that the COSTARS or the supplier is a COSTARS participating supplier on this contract, and that will be indicated by a yes in the COSTARS column. By participating in COSTARS, the statewide suppliers are offering their same pricing and terms and conditions that they offer to the state agencies to our COSTARS members. You're not able to purchase from the suppliers that have a no in the COSTARS column. And then you'll want to take a look at the overview to get more detailed information about the contract. And you'll see the overview is somewhat similar to the COSTARS exclusive contract overview. There's the contact person information here, process to order. And then this contract is a little bit different because it shows lot descriptions for each supplier. So you'll want to make sure you only contact the suppliers that are participating in COSTARS and purchase from the lot descriptions that they're listed under. So when we looked at that initial search page, we saw that Shadler, Yesco, and Granger are participating COSTARS suppliers. So those would be the two lots you would look at here, anything with Granger or Shadler, Yesco. Also, under this contract, suppliers have provided a Commonwealth dedicated website with pricing specific to each lot they're listed under, and that's highlighted here. Normally, the pricing will be here where the lot description is. This contract's just a little bit different. So we wanted to show you this one just to give you an idea. They're all pretty much similar, but once in a while you'll come across something a little different like this. So once you've looked at the overview, you'll want to click on the second tab at the bottom for supplier information. And this will give you the contact information for all suppliers, but you'll only want to focus on those two that are COSTARS participating. And then to see what is available in the two lots that were the COSTARS participating suppliers sell under, this is where you would find those sample items that are available under those lots. So you would go on to those websites, contact the supplier. You can negotiate with the supplier for lower pricing and compare that with your statewide, your COSTARS exclusive supplier pricing or quotes, and then choose the supplier that you want to do business with. So back to Carla and her HVAC dilemma. Carla diligently begins her search knowing that the COSTARS team has already vetted each supplier, ensuring they are responsible and in good standing with the Commonwealth. She remembers from one of the COSTARS webinars she recently attended that because COSTARS contracts are multi-vendor contracts and there are more than 9,000 members taking advantage of the COSTARS program, it is very competitive. Suppliers are prepared to negotiate with Carla to secure the job. Therefore, COSTARS recommends she contacts at least 3 or 4 suppliers to obtain the best price or best value. By not having to competitively bid her project, and because she can negotiate, Carla can save her valuable time as well as her community's taxpayer money. Also, Carla can make her decision based on the criteria that's important to her, not just price alone. For example, product type, brand, location of the supplier, past supplier performance, etc., just like when you purchase a vehicle in your everyday lives. But when Carla searches the COSTARS 8 Maintenance, Repair, and Operation Equipment and Supplies contract for an HVAC supplier, she discovers there are 283 suppliers to choose from. As time is of the essence, Carla is a bit overwhelmed with the volume of suppliers. So Carla calls the COSTARS helpline. The representative suggests that she narrows her search to only display suppliers that sell HVAC equipment. By selecting HVAC equipment, parts, and accessories under the category dropdown, she follows their advice but discovers there are still a large variety of suppliers to choose from, 110 to be exact. It's been 3 days and she knows that we are smack dab in the middle of the coldest part of the year. Carla must find a supplier and make a decision now. How does she find a supplier who meets the criteria that's important to her, who will get the job done quickly and provide excellent service? If only she had a little more time to reach out to some of her peers for their feedback on the suppliers they have worked with in the past. But wait, Carla decides to call the COSTARS team for help one more time. And this time, they tell her about a new company that provides access to the COSTARS members' feedback that she is looking for. Procurated is a site where the procurement community can go to provide feedback on their experiences with suppliers, as well as gather performance information on suppliers they may be interested in doing business with. Procurated is like Yelp for procurement professionals. And the Department of General Services has built a relationship with the Procurated team to offer one more resource to our COSTARS members to ensure peace of mind that they are gaining the best value for their spend. You may receive emails from Procurated to rate and write a review for suppliers you have recently purchased from, and we encourage you to participate in this rating platform. Your feedback helps others while you gain insight from their experience. Carla visits the Procurated website and does a detailed search on HVAC suppliers in her county. She thinks she's found a supplier she likes, and she's already checked that they are a COSTARS authorized supplier to see their contracted pricing, but she'd like a little more detail on how quickly a particular supplier responded. One of the reviews left about the supplier she's researching briefly touched on a quick response, but she wanted to know more. Did they just respond quickly to the call, or could the supplier schedule the install and finalize the project just as quickly? The reviewer posted as anonymous, but Carla found that she could still send them a message through the site without compromising their anonymity. They answered her quickly, and Carla called the supplier right away. How does Carla feel about this HVAC procurement process? Carla is chill, not chilled. On today's call, we have Alex Stonehouse from Procurated. He'll be with us at the end of today's presentation to answer any questions you have about Procurated. You may also want to register for our webinar that takes place on April 14th, which will feature an overview of how to register and use Procurated as a resource in your purchasing process. I hope Carla's story helped to arm you with ideas to get you to your solution quickly if you end up in Carla's shoes someday. In addition to the resource we provide to our members through Procurated, we provide a number of other resources for our members. And some of those resources include the Guide to COSTARS Contracts that Felicia spoke about earlier, our members quote kit, our frequently asked questions, our online trainings and guides, our webinars like this one, and events. When we are out on the road again, we provide on-the-road training, expos, and educational sessions. Our team is active throughout Pennsylvania, attending and exhibiting at trade events, as well as presenting educational sessions. We offer the Newsflash area of the COSTARS website, where we provide up-to-date important information about the program or our contracts, our quarterly newsletters, our emails that alert you to important information. We send out surveys. We're always looking for your feedback. We provide a link to surplus purchasing for federal and state surplus. We provide networking opportunities at our expo every other year, links to associations and other governmental agencies, and lastly, our social media. We encourage our members to be active in COSTARS social media. Our social media often highlights contracts as well as programs and funding opportunities that may be helpful in your procurement. And we are on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I want to walk you quickly through how to locate some of the resources I just discussed. And on the COSTARS page within the DGS website, www.dgs.pa.gov, we're going to look at the program resources page and the member information page. So first we'll go to the member information button here, and this is where you'll find a link to log into that members area, the members quote kit, the guide to COSTARS contracts, and member FAQs. And you'll see on the member information page in the blue box is where you can access the guide to COSTARS contracts and the COSTARS member quote kit. And the member FAQs are located in the white area at the bottom of the page. You just can't see it on this page here. So I mentioned the member quote kit. This is a helpful resource that we put together, or a tool for our members to use when obtaining quotes from different suppliers. In the quote kit, you'll find a blank quote summary page as well as a sample page seen here. We include the sheet that you can send. It's a request for quote sheet to each supplier to obtain quotes. They'll complete their offer based on the requirements of your project and return it to you. And this allows you to have a signed final document listing any negotiated pricing you and the supplier discussed. It's a great way to keep that with your files in the case you would be audited, and shows that you've done your due diligence. The quote kit and the recommended 3 to 4 quotes are not mandatory. It's, like I said, it's a helpful tool we put together for you to use as a member. So we'll go back to the COSTARS page and click on the Program Resources button. And this will show us some of the other resources available to our members. Here you'll find the COSTARS calendar of events. On this calendar, you'll see additional webinars we have planned for this year. When each webinar is ready for registration, you'll see the hyperlinks here, and you can register for each individual webinar. Our member training video and supplier training video presentations are available to you. They provide an overview of the COSTARS and a detailed search demo like you experienced today. The area also includes current and past issues of our newsletter, general FAQs about the program suitable for both members and suppliers, the links to other related associations and state government entities, and that link to for purchasing federal and state surplus property. We talked about the member and supplier training videos on the last page, but we also have a training center that provides training modules to help you through the individual processes within the COSTARS website. And here's where you will find the trainings on the members area page under Training Center. Each training module is broken into segments. If you only need to see, for example, how to update your member profile, you would choose the link to update COSTARS member profile here. And this is what you'll see. What will come up is called a cue card. The COSTARS team has thought about the different learning styles of our users, so we have created 3 different versions of the trainings. And the cue card is what you'll see first. This provides step-by-step guidance for each of the steps you'll perform for that process. And then you can click on the icon in front of the step, and that'll show you a screenshot of what the screen should look like at each step. We also provide a simulation that walks you through the process. Automatically, you can watch the process on your screen. Excuse me. Too much talking, my throat gets dry. And then the guided help will pop up a little box at the top of your screen. If you're more familiar with the process, it'll just show you each step as you go. The COSTARS team also records some of our webinars for on-demand playback by our members and suppliers, and these can be found on YouTube. Once you get to YouTube, you would type PA-CAST-CMS in the search bar, and then click on that PA-CAST-CMS link. And once you get to the next page, you'll type in COSTARS in the search box. Then the COSTARS selections will be viewable. And because we're recording today's session, this is where you can find the recording in the future. But don't worry, we will also send you the link to the recording in our post-event follow-up email.
Just to quickly butt in here, it takes a little bit of time for us to get it on YouTube. It has to go through another department for the uploading. So you might not receive that link from us until probably, I'd say, probably early next week.
Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
This is, and then when you get there, when it is posted, you'll see it within this list here. So since we just discussed updating your member profile, we have some recommendations for you. And we know that staff changes often as people transition into new positions or move on to other opportunities. So we recommend everyone verifies their member profile information today. Verify your primary contact is still current, and verify that the primary contact's email and the general email address are the same, or that the general email address is delivered to someone who understands the COSTARS system and its benefits to your organization. The general email address is very important because that's the email address that's used when we send member alerts and other important information like newsletters to our membership. If any changes are made to your record, you may not be able to save your updates without retyping your general email address under the email address cell in the organization contact section. If you have a PO box as an address in your profile, please change this to the street address of your office. Our system automatically links your organization with your legislative contacts, and it won't work if you only include a PO box. Also, we have information to share. This has been changed from general public to suppliers. So this is here, if you click what you would like to share with our COSTARS suppliers, that way they can get in touch with you if they have any sales coming up for COSTARS members. So that's important to take a look at that little section there as well. So if you cannot find the answer to your question in the many resources available to you, the COSTARS team is always here to help. Here is our contact information, our 1-800 number, our dedicated email, and of course our website. And the contact info here will connect you to the COSTARS team. So if an individual, Felicia or myself, are not available, others are aware that you've reached out and they can help you as well. So let's see how much you remember from today's presentation. We have a little pop quiz for you. And the question is, what is a benefit of being a COSTARS or being a member in the COSTARS program? And you can, Felicia's gonna add A, B, C, D, or E, and you can also just type in your answer. A, reduces the administrative costs of bidding and a contract award. B, provides flexibility in choosing a supplier. C, allows for product customization. D, provides variety, and the program is easy to use. Or E, all of the above. Just open your chat and type in your answer. We'll give you a second. Felicia dared me to play Jeopardy, but
you did it. You really did it. I love it.
Okay. And the answer is E, all of the above. Carla is impressed with how much you remembered. I'm guessing, I can't see the chat, so I'm guessing everybody, Felicia, will you let me know if everybody gave us an E?
Oh, they did.
I figured.
You were listening.
2 thumbs up from Carla. In addition to these COSTARS member benefits, the Commonwealth also experiences benefits as well. COSTARS contract competitive pricing and member negotiations with suppliers allows for an efficient and effective spend of taxpayer funds. And the program helps to stimulate economic development within the Commonwealth as it allows small diverse businesses to compete for local public procurement unit business with the larger companies. As all of us are Commonwealth citizens and taxpayers, these program benefits are important to remember. So we've come to the end of our presentation. We will be sending you an email in the next few days with the guide to COSTARS contracts and the link to the recording of the session and the members quote kit. Before we let you go, we'd love to hear from you. In a moment, Felicia will paste a link to the webinar online survey. We ask that you please take a moment to fill this out. Your feedback helps us to continue to bring value to our members and suppliers in future sessions. And after you've submitted your survey, you're free to log off of the session or return with any questions you have for me and Felicia. And we'll hang out here for a little bit in case you need us. And remember, Alex is also here to field any procurated questions you have as well. So we'll add that link and we'll be here for any questions.
It is now available in the chat.
Thank you. And we have a question. Would you be able to receive a printable copy of this presentation? And we will be sending that to you with our follow-up email within the next few days.
Don't forget to come back to us if you have any questions. Alex, how are you today? If you're answering me, Alex, you're on mute. Maybe we lost him.
Yeah, maybe. Trying to find him on the list.
I'm looking in my emails to see if maybe he couldn't get on for some reason. I don't think he was able to join us today.
Oh, shoot.
That's okay. If anybody has procurated call or questions, let us know and we'll make sure if we don't know the answer, we'll get you an answer. Also, Kim, did you mention that in April, we're going to be having a webinar dedicated to procurated?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was too busy copying and pasting things.
I don't know if, oh, they might have left the person that wanted to download, but we can include that with our follow-up, how to download the supplier list.
So Denise, I see your question about PPE. And Kim, correct me if I'm wrong. Our PPE is available under several different contracts since it affects many different organizations. So you can find PPE under our medical supplies. We even have some under our MRO contract.
Yes.
On the statewide side, I'm not sure where PPE is located.
Yeah, there might be a medical supplies. Let me get out of this. Oops, I guess I can stop sharing.
Medical supplies, equipment, and nutritional supplements, statewide contract. I believe that is COSTARS-Participating. That is contract number 44000169111. And I will see if I can copy and paste that into the chat area. There you go. And then MRO, COSTARS 8. And I've got to see what our medical supplies COSTARS contract number is because I don't know it off the top of my head.
No, I was thinking 12, but
19.
There you go.
I hope, Denise, that answer helped. Also, you might want to try our janitorial supplies, which is COSTARS 5. That will have things like sanitizers and things like that. So that might be helpful as well.
Another way to find things you're looking for is on the contract search. I can share it again if you're still there. You can find contract by item. So if you're looking for a specific item, like antibacterial ointment, you would just click the item and search, and then you'll find the contracts that is under medical supplies and the suppliers that sell that item. Sneeze guards. And if there's something you can't find, you could always reach out to us, and you can either contact the commodity specialist who manages the contract, or you can reach out to us. And sometimes if it's not listed, the contracts are very broad. That's something that could be added. If there are suppliers that sell that item, they can add that to the contract under the category where it best fits. Yeah, I don't see sneeze guards.
No, so
Yeah.
My guess for sneeze guards, Denise, would be trying MRO 8. And again, going back to what Kim said, talking to the commodity specialist is a really good idea because they know their contracts very well. So they can tell you if that scope would fit. So try MRO 8. And then also, I know, and I don't know to the extent, but I know our furniture contract has some partitions in it. They might have done some sneeze guardy kind of things. That would be COSTARS 35, furniture and window treatments. I want to give Emmanuel Williams a call too.
So I pulled up partitions, and we have MRO, furniture and window treatments. There are 84 records found. So
look at me get those two right.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the computer. I bet you that's not sneeze guards.
No, that's probably like stage partitions.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always here to help. Like Felicia said, contact the commodity specialist. If it's something we don't have and it makes sense to add, they can add that to the contract.
Sean, do you want to unmute yourself and let's talk about your question a little bit? I want to get some clarification on the question. When you click COSTARS, you can't find them. I want to know exactly what you're clicking when you refer to clicking COSTARS. Can you unmute?
There I am.
Ah,
How are you?
good, how are you?
Good. I went into the state contract and I searched for salt, and I see I think at the bottom of the last page, Cargill Inc. is actually listed.
Okay. Now, have you participated in our road salt contract?
I am 100% brand new to this. That's why I'm taking this. We had a gentleman who quit our DPW. I believe he was our typical. So I have to re-sign up everything under my name. That's why I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
Okay. So Kim, would you recommend that they?
Well, yeah. Are you? So you are a COSTARS member?
Yes, I believe. Yes, I believe we. That we ordered our last load of salt, or he ordered the last load of salt through COSTARS.
Okay. So what you would need to do, and I'm trying to get back over here to our COSTARS members area. And now here we go. Okay, so home. If you go to the members area, You'll see an orange bar at the top here,
Okay,
and you're going to want to click on that, and then you're going to need to log in to your profile. Hopefully the individual who left gave you the login information. If not, you can create a new registration here where you don't have a COSTARS login, new user registration. You'll create a new user registration and then associate yourself with your organization within the system.
okay,
Once you do that, then you'll be able to go in and update your profile or submit that road salt request. And when you go in, that should populate with last year's road salt form, and then you can just update it from there. But we do have, in our training center, we do have training for user registration and registering for road salt. So that would be helpful to look at as well. And then we can always help you if you want to give us a call.
okay.
Now, for that orange bar that you pointed at, Kim, that's for next year's registration, right? For
Yeah, for 21, 20, yeah, 21, 22.
Okay, yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Yep, okay.
And then also, we're on the road salt topic. Keep your eye on the news splash area within this site. This will give you the current road salt contract, as well as any new indications that the new season is now open for registration.
Okay. So for my original question, just so I'm aware, if I went into the PA state contracts, I found a vendor, like I said, called Cargill. Then I went up to the center of the screen where it says, they said they were a COSTARS. It said yes. I went up to the center to say view COSTARS contract. I click on that.
Okay.
I can't find them.
Okay, yeah. When you're viewing COSTARS contracts, that's taking you back to the COSTARS exclusive contracts, and the road salt contract is a statewide. So when you're on PAE Marketplace, these are all the statewide contracts that are offered to our state agencies, but they also allow our members to piggyback off of them. So we just mentioned going back to view COSTARS contracts if you want to look for a COSTARS exclusive contract, but road salt is only a statewide contract. So
Okay.
that allows our members to piggyback off of it.
Yeah, so when that says yes in that column that they're COSTARS, that means that then yes, you can contact them to purchase from them. Now,
However, yeah,
road
go
salt
ahead.
is a little different
Mhm.
in that if you were in that news flash area and looked at the current road salt contract, it actually lists counties that are supplied by Cargill and then the other road salt suppliers as well. So they win their road salt bid on specific counties that they serve. So
Okay.
the
Yeah.
salt contract is a little different than the other.
Right, so you wouldn't contact the supplier. What you're doing is telling us on the form how much salt you'll need for the next season, and that will give the suppliers an idea of how many tons are going to be required in each county. And then that will go out to bid in August, or no, before August. But after August 1st, the contract will be posted, and I'll show you what it looks like. That's where you'll find, so it might not be Cargill. It depends on the county, like Felicia said, and the tons required. And if whoever the awarded supplier is for that county, they'll be listed there. And that's where you'll find, for example, here, the different counties. So Cargill is only in Lawrence and then this area of the state. So then, like Felicia said, that will be posted after August 1st, the new contract, and that's where you'll find your supplier and their contact information will be listed here.
Okay, so that's where when I reviewed the one document, it said they had 750,000 tons for 2020, I believe it was. Okay,
Right. Mhm.
I got you.
So you found that you are participating in the contract this year?
No, I didn't find this year. I saw something in there that said it went from 2018 to 2022. One of the documents I read.
What, do you mind sharing with me what your organization is? And remember, we're recording.
Oh, it's the Borough of Matamoros.
I'm sorry?
Matamoros.
And that's BORUH, right?
Yeah, BORUGH and MATAMORAS.
I don't see a record.
There we are, right there.
Pike County?
Yep, Borough, yeah, actually, Matamoros Borough, that's it right there. Yep.
Yeah.
We bought 100 tons.
Okay, so that might, what you saw might have been for the entire county,
Yes.
Pike County, okay. Or it might have been for, because there's only 44. Let's see what that, they should continue the top of the
Sorry, I was
column.
wrong here when I was looking you up.
I figured you were looking in our system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
it
just-
does look like for fiscal year 2020, you did submit in February for the year. So you did a submit. Do you mind if I share this?
Sure.
Okay. So you submitted a total tons of 100 tons for
Correct.
this current season. So
Yeah,
then
we just ordered our last 20, yes.
Kim is looking up, I think, who your supplier would be then.
oh, for Pike County. But that could change for the next season,
Yes.
depending on, yep. And I hate to, oh, here's Pike County. So it was Cargill for this year. So it's very well could be Cargill again, but yeah, we don't know.
Okay.
So,
And then in the contract, Kim, do you want to know where the contact information is for
yeah.
the
Mhm, yep.
suppliers? You might have
No.
already.
Yeah, and that's a little tiny, but so that's where you would find the contact information for Cargill right there.
Okay.
Notice that Carla has some little stars next to their name.
Yeah,
Look down.
email is the preferred method of placing orders.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or call, and they give you the options here. So that's, yeah, if you pull up that on the members area page to the right here, the contract's right there, and that gives you all that information.
And
Okay, great.
It doesn't look like you submitted your 2021 season registration. So you will want to go to that orange bar to submit your order for next year, or not your order, your requirements for next year.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, good
I
question.
appreciate it. Like I said, I'm low green at it. I'm sorry for being ignorant. I just got to figure it out.
It's a lot, especially when you're just taking over. So we hear it a lot. It's not just you.
Nope.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate what you guys do. Thank you.
sure. You're welcome. Any other questions? We still have a few people here. All righty, well, I guess if we have no further questions, you can always reach out to us if you think of something after, and we're happy to help you at any time. And I guess we will sign off for now. You have
Yes.
anything else, Felicia?
Nope. I just wanted to thank everybody that's still on the call for attending, and you have our contact information, so you can give us a call or send us an email if you have any further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you
Have
all.
a great day.
Bye.